Would you agree with me if I told you that you knew physics before you even went to school? Well, it's true, and I could give you an example. In Tanzania, there used to be this game where two children would stand on the opposite ends, and then they will be throwing balls to each other. And in the middle, there will be another person. This person now is ping-ponging between these other two children. And the main aim of this person in the middle is not to be hit by the ball. And the main goal of these two people, who are these other two children who are standing on the ends, is to make sure that they hit the person with a ball. So, one point which I want to illustrate here is that it reaches to the point now you have to hit a person who is running. But with the ball, how do you do that? You have to calculate the speed this person is coming. You have to calculate the angle of the ball you want to throw. You have to know with which force you have to throw. All of these things which they take into account physics and mathematics. But normally, these children playing these games, you find they have never even been to school yet. So what happened? I think what happened is that they already knew physics. I mean, you know everything about physics. But when you go to school is when you discover why what happens the way it happens. And exactly this is the case for Isaac Newton. I myself was mad when I discovered that Isaac Newton is the one who figured out why things are falling from up to down. I was like, isn't that supposed to be obvious? That's obvious. Things are supposed to fall from up to down. And we're confused. But Isaac Newton did not discover how. Isaac Newton discovered why things are falling from up to down. And exactly that is what is happening. And that is why Galileo Galilei says that you can never teach a man about anything, but you can only help him discover from within himself, meaning that you already know what you know, almost everything. For those who are reading the Bible, it has been written that everything has been written into your hearts by your Creator, and that is why. But the question now comes, how do you get to discover the fact or truth from within yourself? And I think there is one main method which you can discover, and that is conversation. You are supposed to make your mind in the conversation mode. And how do you make it in a conversation mode? Number one way is by talking to yourself. When you're talking to yourself, you're making your mind, conversate, talk. And this is what many people would call thinking. But number two is when you are actually talking to somebody else. And I think most of you would agree with me. Sometimes it happens that you might have some unanswered question, and then you're talking to somebody else, and all of a sudden something clicks in your mind, which is somehow triggered by what your friend is saying, though what your friend is saying might not be directly relatable to what you just grasp out of the thin air. And that is how the conversation helps you to discover something from within yourself. But number three is through reading of books, reading of other materials, listening to speeches. Now, number three is somehow different, because now is you are being more receptive rather than doing the one-on-one thing. When you're thinking by yourself, it's like you have to ask yourself some question, you have to figure out the answers. When you're talking to somebody, you have to talk to them, you have to receive. So it's like, in half of the time, you're suppressing your mind to think so that you can figure out what to deliver. And I think most of the time when you speak, you don't think. You simply deliver what you thought before. But when you are in the receptive mode, this is when your mind becomes actively, 100% active. It is more receptive, and when it receives a lot of information is when your mind now is being like highly activated, and it's like a popcorn. Everything starts to pop out, and this is when you start to discover a lot of stuff. And that is why today I want to discuss with you on why reading of books is very, very, very important. And when I say reading of books, I don't actually mean that it has to be the hard copy now. But even if it's just the audio copy, or even from YouTube, like somebody is giving a lecture, then you just listen and you don't listen to answer or anything else. Why is it very important? I think I could give you roughly 3 reasons. Number 1 is also just like what I discussed before. Reading of books helps you discover the truths which are inside of you. Just like I said, even for myself, I've discovered this. The more I've been listening to the audiobooks, the more I've been reading the textbooks, the more I've been listening to the speeches of other experts, is more I get, is more ideas coming to my mind. I mean, they have been popping a lot of them. And I think they can also benefit you in the very, very same way. But number two, you learn about somebody's life experience within just a couple of days. You don't have to pay a lot like the way he paid for that experience. This is a huge advantage that you can get through reading of books. But number 3, you get to see how someone thinks. Actually, I agree. Some people would say, oh, they don't tell you everything. It's true they don't tell you everything, but most of the time they would tell you, they would give you the shape of it. And you don't need always to understand what is in the base. Sometimes you can use what is on the surface and you can find ways to figure out what could be on the base. And that's how it happens. So you get to know how some people think, how they got to solve what they encountered in their time, and this could help you discover within yourself on the best methodologies that you can use in your own situations. My dear brothers and sisters, there is so much importance, there is so much advantages in reading books, and you should start reading books now. And mind you, as you read, make sure that you have your notebook and pen with you, because there will be always so much ideas popping out of your minds, and record them. These ideas, they are always of so much values. Don't stay idle. When you stop learning, you become dead. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for listening, and keep subscribing to this channel. I mean, you can like this channel, you can share it with your friends. But most important of it all, please subscribe so that you can be able to get more updates from me. Thank you so much, and bye-bye. See you soon.